Hello and welcome back to TheSimplyCa. My name is Alana, and on this channel you are going to find both yoga fitness videos as well as human design lifestyle coaching. If you are new here and you are enjoying this content, stick around by clicking on that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And if you've been here for a little bit and you've been watching these videos and you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead, click on that subscription button and the notification bell so that you know every time I post a new video. In previous human design videos, we have gone through the basics of the chart, and there is still more, but those human design basics videos, you can find the playlist link in the description box below. Those videos are fantastic for getting your foot in the human design door, and they really give you a broad overview of all the different elements and components of your human design chart. If you haven't already gotten your human design chart and somehow stumbled upon this video, you can go to either mybodygraph.com or myhumandesign.com. Both of these sites are fantastic and wonderful, and both of them offer just a little bit of a different visual of your human design chart. Now, in today's human design video, we are going to be continuing on this human design in real life series because I want you to have a little bit of a better understanding about how this concept, how this experiment actually plays out in real life. Just like astrology, just like personality assessments, it's always nice to have this information about yourself, but what does it really do if we can't use it and apply it in our daily lives? So today's video is going to be a little bit about how I have been using my manifesting generator energy as well as the gut pull towards taking action. And then we're also going to interlay a little bit about the variables, which there is also 2 videos on those. And we're going to add in one more component that is available for free and easily accessible on myhumandesign.com. And that is my digestion. So if you're interested in learning more, stick around and let's get straight into how my human design is currently playing out in my real life. I'm going to start off by briefly highlighting my left arrows. Now, my left arrows, the top left arrow points to the right, which means it's more flexible and more fluid. And my bottom left arrow points to the left. And this is my only arrow that points to the left. And so this is where structure and having order in my life, having things in their place, is so important to me. These 2 arrows are covered in far more depth in the first of the human design variables video. So if you're interested in learning even more depth on those, go ahead and click on the link that's in the description below. So that top left arrow pointing to the right represents an ease when it comes to how I intake food and my surroundings and how I digest. This basically, in essence, means that I am very much of an intuitive eater. I don't like to plan out all of my meals. I go with that manifesting generator sort of like yes to what I want to eat. That said, I always have a couple things on the back burner so I don't get lost and over hangry and I don't have something on the ready. So that top left arrow pointing to the right means that typically meal prep is not my favorite thing in the world, which is going to come into play in just a moment. Now the bottom left arrow pointing to the left means that when it comes to my surroundings, the environment that I'm in, I really love when things have their place, and I feel very comfortable in a surrounding that I know. I had that, and this is where that manifesting generator energy and that sacral energy really came into play for me. Before I even knew it, when I got home, I was tidying things up. I was cleaning things out. There was this physical pull that I didn't think about. It came from my body. It wasn't a thought process. It was I have the energy, this is what I need to do, and it just initiated action in the way of my body started moving towards cleaning out my fridge, cleaning out my cupboards, getting rid of things, cleaning things up. It was crazy on a Saturday evening after having massage and waking up early and being on a ferry and being overwhelmed by the city. But for some reason, it was the exact right moment and I didn't question it. I just allowed that physical, sacral pull. So my whole body just started taking action. And so much of the time, especially in the personal development space, we think we have to achieve something going through it the right way at the right time, following somebody's process. And if you have more of a left-facing variable profile, that might work for you. For me, again, most of my arrows point to the right, and it is a lot more flexible for me, and things happen when I feel that pull towards things. So I wanted to highlight that because so much of the time we think that we're not going to get something done. We think that we are going to avoid the icky tasks when really it's about knowing that that time is going to hit and we're just going to have the amount of energy that we need and it's going to flow easily, and you can have that trust in yourself that you will do the things that you need to do in the right time for your energy. Now that brings me to this morning and meal prep. So if you do get your human design from myhumandesign.com, Jenna includes a few pieces that are not included in any other of the free software. And one of those pieces is your digestion type. My digestion type, and we haven't gone into this because it is quite a lot deeper, and as I've said before, as long as you're playing around with and utilizing your energy type, strategy, and authority, the rest of it kind of falls into place and you have more confidence in following and trusting your own natural energy. So knowing your digestion type or knowing a lot about it isn't necessary, but it is kind of interesting. My digestion type is alternating appetite, and it's very similar to the consecutive digestive type. Both of them are like the oldest digestions and do very well when the food is extremely simple and one thing at a time. When I started reading up about what that meant, I did not get it at all. And then today, as I was getting myself ready for the work week, I realized that what I actually do is I go through these phases. And I will eat avocados for a long period of time, or I'll eat yams for a long period of time, or I'll eat, right now, I'm doing bell peppers, zucchini, and mushrooms. And just about everything that I make has bell peppers, zucchini, and mushrooms as the core vegetable ingredients. I do best with rice or potatoes, very simple carbohydrates. And as I say that, I realize that my digestion being a very primitive, simple digestion, having simple carbohydrates as one of my main sources of nutrients kind of makes sense that that's what I always gravitate towards. Rice, potatoes, and if I'm not feeling well, my go-to meal is white rice, soy sauce, tofu, and broccoli. How much more plain can you get? Now, as we've talked about, this is an experiment and it's not a directive, but what's really interesting is when I first saw that alternating digestion and when I first read into it, it made no sense to me at all, and I was stunned because I absolutely love ethnic cuisines with tons of spices and flavors and all of that, but I do notice that when I am eating a clean, simple, homemade, very basic ingredient menu, my body really does do the best. And on top of it, flashing back to my various phases of different vegetables or different proteins, and then kind of just being done with them for a period of time, it really makes sense to me how it's not that I have to eat one thing at a time. It's that I kind of go through this simple set of foods, and these are my main core ingredients that I'll zhuzh up a little bit. The basics aren't things that I play around with too much. It's really just those little added components. And then when I really love something, I just eat it for a bit, and then I'm done with it. And then I move on to the next thing because that's what my body needs. And so when it comes to meal prep, as an example, what I wanted to share with you is that even though I have a right-facing arrow, that alternating appetite or that more consistent nature in my appetite means that I can, at this particular moment, I can rely on going for certain vegetables as my base. So my meal prep consisted of making sure that all my lettuce is ready, making sure that all of my peppers are ready, making sure that I've got those staples and they're set up and I'm set up for the week. And because those are the base ingredients, I know that from there I can add different sauces, I can add different flavor profiles, and make sure that I'm fluid and I have that flexibility in my food without scrambling for ideas or prep time throughout the week. As you can see, all the different elements in the human design chart really do layer upon each other. And as I already said, just getting familiar with your energy type, your strategy, and your authority are so key. The other thing I would layer in to that is if you have more arrows that point to the right or if you have more arrows that point to the left, because that gives you an idea of where in your life you really do best with structure and where in your life you really do best with fluidity. And then if you go into myhumandesign.com and you check out your human design profile there, let me know in the comments below what your digestion is and if it makes sense to you. This is an added layer, again, because Jenna is the first one to add this to a free profile. It's only ever come out when you've had a reading. So it's great to have this information so that you know how your food interacts with how you are showing up in your energy. And if the food that you're naturally called to and naturally pulled to is truly what works best for you. Again, this is all an experiment. We all show up to this differently, and we all have different perspectives on this information. The whole purpose of it is to highlight how different and unique we all are, and that we are not designed to fit into one box of this is the right way to do all of the things. By sharing this information, I really am here to give you permission to be who you naturally are, to show up in your energy, to feel confident and secure with who you are, and to know that you don't have to overexert yourself in order to make things happen. Take a look at putting the IKEA furniture together or cleaning out my fridge. Those are tasks that if I overthought them or if I forced myself to do them in whatever period of time, I might have had a completely different experience with them. But because I allowed my energy type to pull me into action, I avoided the not self theme of frustration during those periods of activity. I got those things done without bumping up against all that frustration or layering on a level of shoulds all over myself. When you allow yourself to live in your energy type and in your design, things become more simple. Things become easier. It's the analogy of being able to flow downstream with a current instead of trying to paddle yourself against the current or the rapids and rocks and all of the branches throwing themselves in your way. Notice where ease and flow comes for you, and notice how you can allow yourself to move with your own energy. Thank you so much for joining me today, and if you are enjoying this content, give it a thumbs up, click on the subscribe button and the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video.